Sit up nice and tall. Take a deep, deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. And then without thinking too much about alignment or anything like that, just lift your shoulders up towards your ears and roll them down your back. Keep doing that, so circling your shoulders up and down, but go really, really slow. See if you can make those circles a little bigger. And just listen to the sounds that your shoulders and all your muscles and bones start to make. Turn that rolling action around. So just do it in the other direction. The exact same thing in the other direction. And you might take your hands off your legs, giving yourself space to do a bigger movement here. Good. And then just alternate. So as you roll your right shoulder forward and back, your left shoulder follows. Feels a bit like you're walking, but doing one of those Ministry of Silly walks. Try that in the other direction. It's a bit trickier. Got it. And then relax your hands back down on your lap. Tuck your chin into your chest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale right here. You're just letting the back of your neck stretch. Go ahead and roll your left ear over to your left shoulder, picking up the shoulder at all if it starts to trigger any pain. Then slide down through center, rolling the right ear over the right shoulder. Good. Bring your chin back through center. Lift your shoulders up. Lift your head and your neck up and open your eyes. Take your right hand, lift your right hand up. Stay seated. I'll just come closer so you can see. And place your right hand onto your left ear. Now, first, you're going to work some of the scalene muscles along the side, lateral side of your neck. So start to tug your right ear towards your right shoulder. And let that left hand really drag down. But breathe into that tension, that little shearing sensation in the left side. Stay there as you breathe out. And then move your hand and take your hand, your finger specifically to the back of your skull. Right to the back of your skull, so your palm is cupping your skull. Draw your head down. And then play with a little bit of movement. So you might pull it over to the right a little. It might come back through center and then go back to the right. So you're really just exploring a range of motion, but also range of sensation in and around your head and neck. And now your left hand can stay where it is, or you might walk it further away. You might walk it forward. Take one more breath here. Good. Release your chin down through center. Lift your shoulders up to help lift your head up. And do that same work on the other side. So this time your left hand comes up and the left hand catches your right ear. And first you're simply tacking your left ear down towards your left shoulder. The right shoulder, meanwhile, is really, really, really lethargic and relaxed. Your breath can do wonders here. Breathe into that sensation in the right side of your neck, into your upper back. And now start to inch those left fingers back so they can cup over the back of your skull. Tack your chin into your chest. Use your hands to pull your chin even further in. And maybe move that left ear over towards your shoulder and let your right hand take a little bit of motion until you uncover a sensation that feels just right. So it's really exploratory, a really curious little work here to start. And gently release all of that. Your chin comes back through to your chest. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders up. Take a big breath in. Stay here and just exhale. Good. And now open your arms wide. Open your arms wide. Palms are facing out, so palms facing towards the front of your mat. And then round into your upper back. Turn your palms to face down. Undo that action. Open your palms. Open your chest. So a little bit like a dramatic cat-cow. You're curling everything in. Palms are facing down. Chin is tucking. And then bring it all back. Right, and the third time that you do this, curl in, curl in, curl in. And as you open up, maybe you can spread your hands back further behind you. Really pierce your chest forward. Take a breath in, look up. Exhale, here, lower your hands down to the floor. Your right hand will stay put, but your left arm lifts up and over. Now keep reaching that left hand up as you lower your right elbow to the floor. Your sits bones are grounded. Keep reaching your top fingers away and ground through both hips. Ooh, pull it all the way back up through center and take it over to the other side. Getting into like the little nooks and crannies of your body. Push that top arm out and away, maybe look down. Use your breath to articulate the sensation in that side body. Good, and then come all the way back up through center and bend at your elbows. Just bend at your elbows. Make fists with your hands and drop your fists down. Let them rock from side to side. Good. I feel like this is a movement that matches my funny outfit today. My Oompa Loompa outfit. And then shake your hands. Shake, shake, shake. Good. And our final little place or movement here, separate your feet just a few inches from your pelvis so you can see a little bit of your yoga mat underneath your body between your legs and your pelvis, and take your hands onto your thighs or onto your knees. And now start to roll. So all that release you just did through your upper back, your neck, your head, your shoulders, and your arms, we're moving down towards our hips. And as you roll back, you're creating a little bit of a rounded spine. As you roll forward, there's an opportunity for a little bit of extension, almost like you're doing cat-cow in these slow motion circles. Your head can be really, really heavy here. Go ahead and change it into the other direction. Find your way back up to sitting. Find your way back up to sitting. Close your eyes. Take a breath in. Exhale completely. This is where you arrive at an intention, maybe building a purpose for your practice. And tack that onto your mat so you can visually imagine it, read it, look at it all class as you come down onto all fours. And if you're all cozied up in socks and sweaters, this would be a good time to take those off and start to move your spine in cat-cow through your flexion and extension. So with your fingers spread nice and wide, it's that slow articulation of your spinal body on the inhale into extension, and that slow rounding into flexion. Passing through these two movements again and again. We've done this hundreds of times. Can you find something different here today? So the next time you inhale and your belly falls down, your heart and chest lifts up, try to push your right rib cage over towards the right, creating a little half moon shape with the right side of your body. Look over your left shoulder and then round into your upper back. Let that rounded upper back travel you over to the other side. And do that same thing, lengthen the left side, make it into a little half moon shape, peer over your right shoulder and drive your right hip to your right shoulder. Round into your upper back again. These are called lateral cat-cows. Round into your upper back, move your weight over towards the right, and then send your hips to the left, your left shoulder to the left, and look over your left shoulder towards your left hip. See if you can feel the stretch in the right side of your body. Just one more time on the other side, rounding on the way over. This is a really, really subtle, subtle work. And return all the way back through center. Flex your feet, lift your hips up and set your hips down onto your heels. Set your hips down onto your heels so you're stretching the soles of your feet. Take your hands together, interlace your hands, push your palms down, a little roundedness in your upper back, and then stretch your hands forward, 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 or reach your arms all the way up, hold here. Push your hands to the ceiling, take a breath in, and as you exhale, reach over to the left. Belly sucking in, your feet are getting a nice deep, deep, deep fascial release here. Pull your hands back up through center and stretch over to the other direction. Good. Come back up through center. Release your arms. Take your hands down to the floor. Release your feet and tap the tops of your feet on the floor. You've got it. Now from here, I'll change my orientation so you can see the structure of this pose, but you stay as you are. Step your right foot out to the side and imprint the entire right foot onto the floor. Lift your torso up. This is called gate pose. So your right foot is grounded, right leg is long, and you're standing on your left knee. Take your right hand down your right thigh. Either stay there or reach your left arm up and take your left hand to the back of your head. Now, once you get here, squeeze your bum cheeks together, push your pubic bone forward, lift your heart in your chest. Maybe you reach that top arm up. So there's that deep lateral stretch you had in lateral cat-cow. A bit of a different way to get it. Take a breath in and out. Hand comes back to the back of your skull. Lift up, bend into your right knee, and sit down onto the heels. Your tops of your feet are on the floor. Plant your palms and close your eyes. Take a few cycles of breath here. Open your eyes, lift yourself back up onto your knees, carve out some space for this variation of gate pose. Now it's the opposite foot, your left foot stretching out to the side. Yes, find stability. Make sure that right knee is directly below your right hip. Start to slide your left hand down your left leg, reach your right arm up and take your right hand to the back of your head. Push your pubic bone forward. Butt cheeks are strong and hugging into one another. Push your head back into your hand. Find that expansion through the side of your body. Good. And then maybe reach your top arm up. Take 2 breaths here. Find a little more slinkiness into that half moon shape. Ease back out. First, the hand comes to the back of your head, and then you pull all the way through center. Take the knees together and sit back onto your heels. Sit back onto your heels. Think about a turtle. Take your arms back behind you. Lower your third eye, your forehead onto the floor, and let your shoulders relax here. Coming into tortoise pose, take 3 deep breaths. Peel your body away from the floor. Peel your body up. Maybe a few of those shoulder rolls meet you when your spine gets upright. And now take your feet and drop your feet to the outside of your hips by any amount. This is where you might tack a block under your pelvis. Walk your hands back behind you. Lift your hips up and option to stay here. So you're now opening the fronts of your thighs and you can stay right there. If you have some room to come down onto your elbows, perhaps you lower to your elbows or even take the top of your head onto the floor. You might come all the way down onto your back. You don't have to, but we're breathing in whatever variation of hero pose, and by all means, it can be seated upright. Breathing into hero pose for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, let your chin lead. So tuck your chin into your chest, climb up. It doesn't need to look pretty. Climb up, walk your hands forward, and reset on all 4s. Stretch your right leg back, flex your right foot, and just rock that heel back and forth a few times. Just rock back and forth, feeling the release through your calf muscle. Try that on the left side. So your hands are holding you up here as you just pulse your left heel back and forth. Good. And now stack your hands hip distance apart. Spread your fingers really wide. Fire up between your shoulder blades. Strengthen into your core and lift up and back into a downward dog shape. We took a long time to get here today, so we'll spend a full 5 breaths really easing into it. Bend into one knee and then the next to let your head shake yes or no. Just feel. Gradually lift your gaze and then follow your gaze with your feet. Walk all the way to the top of your yoga mat. Inhale, push your hands into your shins, lengthen your spine halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend into your knees to release any crickets or cracks in your feet. Wrap your hands around opposite elbows and sweep your torso from side to side. Sweep your torso from side to side, allowing your head to stay really heavy here. Finally, lower your hands and low, 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 and slow, you'll start to rise up. Finally, almost halfway through our practice, we stand up and start to roll your shoulders around and around and around, just like we did when we started. And take them around and around in the other direction. Reach your arms towards the ceiling. Take hold of your right wrist with your left hand, or reach your right hip out and stretch over towards the left. Stretch over towards the left, carving out that boomerang shape in your side body again. Move back through neutral, grab the left hand, reach over to the right. Big side body work here is so good when we sit all the time. Pull everything back through center. Take your hands to your hips and just take a few pelvic tilts. So you're doing a nice deep pull of your pubic bone forward and then a sweeping of your pelvis back. Pubic bone pulls forward and sweeps back. One more time, pull your pubic bone forward, sweep your pubic bone back, and then pull your pubic bone forward, hold it there, reach your arms forward, take a deep breath in. With the pubic bone forward, sink your hips low. This means your spine should be nice and neutral, and you can separate your feet wide. Good. Take another deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, fold down to the floor. Now, as you inhale, you'll lift up halfway, but the next exhale, just pause, okay? Just pause here down on the floor with your hands beneath your shoulders. Look forward between your hands and take your left hand to the center of your yoga mat. Bend into your right knee. Imagine you are picking up a bow and an arrow in that bow. Reach your right arm all the way up. Left knee is bent, right arm is reaching up. Yeah, and then lower that right arm down, circling it back behind you. Place the right hand where the left hand was. Grab your imaginary bow and arrow and pull the left arm all the way up. Look up. Circle your left arm back and down. One more time on either side. Pull your right arm up, bend into the left knee. This time you'll circle your right arm forward to bring it down. Easy on the shoulder joint. Other side, reach your left arm up, stabilize with that right hand, and then circle the left arm forward to bring it down. Release both palms down to the floor and step all the way back into a low plank, so onto your knees. Your hands are beneath your shoulders, tops of your feet on the floor, puff between your shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And now as you exhale, bend at your elbows and lower your torso down to the floor. Right away, walk your hands back beside your ribs. Pull your shoulders back, push down through your toes. Grip the mat with your hands. Keep pulling your shoulders back. Now push your pubic bone into the floor, get a little bit higher. Then you release. Take your hands off your yoga mat, your elbows perked up. Press into your toes, push into your hands with that same slow integrity. Start to peel your heart and chest up. Squeeze your bum cheeks together. Lift even higher than before. Let it go on an exhale. Good. Third time, soften your left shoulder. Look over your right shoulder and start to come up. Change your mind, lower back down. Soften your right shoulder. Look over your left shoulder. Start to come up. Change your mind and lower back down. Release your whole body flat on the floor. Flex your feet, plant your palms, push up and back, downward facing dog. Take a big breath. Open your mouth wide and exhale. Look forward. Simply step your right foot between your hands and lower onto your left knee. Steady with a blanket if you're feeling any sensitivities in that knee joint. Come onto the very tips of your fingers, maybe onto blocks. Inhale, lift your heart and chest up. Look up. And now as you exhale, round into your upper back, pick up your right toes, and fold over that right thigh. Can you cycle through this a few times, really slowly, inhaling to lift your heart and chest into that low lunge, and exhaling, sink your hips back to your heels, pick up your toes and fold in. Let's try that one more time. Easing the body in and out of hip extension in the lunge and flexion in this hamstring stretch. Then you'll come back through center, ground through your left hand, take your right arm, reach it forward and stretch your right arm all the way up. Roll your right ribs up, look up, draw that left shoulder back. Find a little more strength, a little more statuesque muscular work here. One more big breath in. Exhale, reach your right hand forward to the inside of your right foot. Heel toe your right foot to the outside of your yoga mat. Oh, and now we're taking that lunge even deeper. Roll open on the right outside edge of your foot for a deep lizard or dragon lunge. You might even take your elbows down. All the way from your shoulders to your hips. We've started to flush a little bit of fluid towards our joints. hopefully ease some tension. Finding breath. From here, can you place your hands on the floor? Place your hands on the floor inside that right foot. Stabilize and flatten your right foot on the floor. Start to lean your hips back and then pick up your right toes. Walk your hands back and find that hamstring stretch one more time. This time it's isolated, so it's not in the flow. It's independent, and that means you might pull your right pinky toes in and find a little more depth. Good. Drag your right foot all the way back. Set your right knee down beside your left knee. Plant your palms. Push up and back, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in here. Remember where you started with your intention. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale, shuffle your weight forward to a high plank, and this time from high plank, bend into your elbows and lower all the way to the mat. Good. Take your hands, just interlace them behind your back, plug your shoulder blades in, zip up from your midline and peel everything up. Locust pose or Shalabhasana. We had a chance to do that hero prep, so you might even have space to bend into your knees, catch your ankles or the outside edges of your feet for bow pose. Take one more full breath in and use the exhale to release, so either cheek falls on the floor. Catch the floor with your palms, roll your shoulders back, push into your downward dog. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth wide and exhale. Look forward, step your left foot now between your hands, lower your right knee down. Lower your right knee down, prop it with pillows if you need to. Inhale, from the tips of your fingers, just look up. Exhale, round into your back. Sink your hips back to your heels and find that hamstring stretch. So now you're picking your left toes off the floor. Fluid movement back and forth 2 more times. Inhaling into your lunge. Exhaling into your hamstring stretch. Inhaling forward through your lunge, your heart peaks open. Exhaling, closing down shop as you curl in for your hamstring stretch. The next time you come forward, you'll pause there. Root down through the palm of your right hand. Circle your left arm all the way forward and up. And really begin to open through your left side body. Push into your palms. Stay steady with your breath. Find the muscular work here. That's it. And then rotate your left hand all the way down, but bring it to the inside of that left foot. Heel toe your left foot open and roll onto the outside edge of your left foot. You got it. Now you're pulling extension through the front of your right hip, and that might feel good right here, but there's the possibility of sinking down further for a few cycles of breath. Catch an inhale on the way up, planting your palms. Good, good, good. Walk your hands back, lift up your left toes. You're in that isolated hamstring stretch now. With the left toes lifted, push your big toe mound forward, pinky toe side back, and fold over your left leg. Beautiful. Use your hands to support you as you pull your left leg back. Take your knees nice and wide and sink down into a child's pose. Hold your child's pose. Take 5 deep breaths there. Push your hands into the floor and now lift your body up, lift your torso up. Come to stand on your knees. Again, this is where a blanket can come in handy under the kneecaps if they're sensitive. Come to stand up on your knees. And first start with your hips right above your kneecaps. Your feet are flexed. And then remember those pelvic tilts that we did? Try a few pelvic tilts. So drawing your tailbone up and back and then pulling it under. And can you end in the place where your tailbone is drawing under and your pubic bone pushes forward? Think of your front thighs. Push your front thighs forward and glue or suck your glutes together. We're working towards Ustrasana, but we're going to do it in a very, very anatomical way. So start with your hands right down below your bum. And then engage your bum so you can feel the muscles of your bum under your palms. Push your pubic bone forward. Now imagine you had a little string on your chest that was lifting you up, up, up. Your heart starts to break open. Take one more breath in here. You're just doing prep to start. We'll come back in. Turn onto the tops of your feet onto the tops of your feet. Sink your hips down and sit with your palms flat on your thighs. Close your eyes. And if your back hurts, that might be enough. You can just do that work again or even stay seated. Otherwise, pull yourself back up. And this time your feet are flexed again. Draw your pubic bone forward so your bum cheeks cave into one another. The fronts of your thighs are strong. Your heart and chest are lifted. Imagine you are holding something between your thighs. Really engage your inner thighs. Then take your right arm. Inhale, reach your right arm up, just your right arm. Reach your right arm up and windmill it back behind you. You can follow it with your gaze. You've done this action a few times. Take your right hand maybe to your right heel. And if half camel pose feels like this is by all means more than enough, you'll just bring your right hand back and try that only on the left side with the other hand. If there's room for you to grow into full Ustrasana, so both hands tacking onto a heel, while still squeezing your glutes together, pushing your pubic bone forward and lifting your chest, by all means dive in. Now you either make multiple chins, truthfully, you're making multiple chins, and keep your gaze forward, or if you have the capability in your neck, you can drop your head back. Take one more breath wherever you've ended up. Walk your hands up your spine, treating yourself a bit like a porcelain doll to come out of this. Drop onto the tops of your feet, sink your hips onto your heels, and place your palms down onto your thighs. And you know what might feel really good here? Some of that neck and shoulder work we started with. Perhaps even just turning your gaze from one side to the next. Let's flip our legs around and stretch both legs out in front. A really nice counter pose is a seated spinal twist. So keep your right leg extended and bend into your left knee. Place your left foot across your right thigh. Take a breath in, start to rotate to the left. You can use your right elbow to push your left thigh back. Open the fingers on your right hand really wide and keep rotating, rotating, rotating. Breathing length through the top of your head, rotating your gaze back. Unravel that whole shape. Just take a counter twist, a quick little counter twist to the right. Bring your hands back behind you. Keep your legs as they are. The only difference is you'll bend into your left knee, flex your left foot, or bend into your right knee, flex your left foot, and come into thread the needle pose. I call this footballers thread the needle pose. You always see professional sports players diving into this on the field or on the ice. Lift your heart and chest, lift your gaze, take a breath in. Good. Exhale, bend into your elbows so there's some space to release. Stretch both legs out, both legs reach out. Reach your arms high on an inhale. And as you exhale, now you can fold forward, ease into it. Take your hands to the outside edges of your feet. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, fold and release. 5 full breaths here. And gently pull your body out back into a long straight spine. Bend into your left knee. No, your right knee. And take your right foot to the outside of your left thigh. Good. It's always funny teaching because sometimes when you're demoing so much, you get really into the poses. Like I start to feel that yoga high halfway through class. Let's find rotation over towards the right. Lengthening through the crown of your head, deepening those right ribs, pulling them back. Your left toes are staying active. Keep breathing here. Perfect. Let's take a full unraveling over to the other side. Come back through center. Tack your hands onto the floor. Bend your left knee. Here's thread the needle. An upright version. Lift your heart and chest up. The closer you walk in that left foot, the more intense this will feel. Bend into your elbows, release the legs out. Go ahead and lie down onto your back. Lie down onto your backs. When you get there, collect your knees in like a little bag of buried treasure you've uncovered. Squish them into your heart, hold them dearly, and just rock side to side. Amazing. Let both knees slip over to the right. Here's a big spinal twist before we close. Take one cycle of breath in and out. Maybe just one more in and out. Pick up your knees, carry them on over to the other side. 2 breaths here. Everything comes back through center before you drop into your final place of rest. This was a back bending practice, and if your back is hurting, you might take your feet mat distance and let your knees fall inward to catch one another. Taking your Shavasana here, or stretch out your legs for your final resting pose. Count yourself through 10 more breaths here. After those 10 breaths have moved through you, you can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Turn your head from side to side. And take both arms, just reach them up overhead, lengthen your body long. Exhale to roll over to your right side. Press your hands into the floor and come on up to a comfortable cross-legged seat. Take one hand on your tummy, one hand on your heart. Remember your intention for your practice. Thank yourself for showing up. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Namaste.